My daughter has taken the challenge of no sugar for 1 year. We're not over the top about it, but she's cut out all the obvious offenders. Problem is that she loves to bake and has a major sweet tooth. What would you recommend as a substitute for sugar in baking recipes? We tried unsweetened applesauce, but that didn't work well. So, Becky, this is awesome. I know your daughter and I know how much she likes baking. And I'm really proud of her for trying to go for no sugar for a year. That is amazing, and I know she'll feel great when she does it. So, one more realistic hit of truth right up front. The very honest truth is that most things that we bake, even if they're healthier versions, like the very healthiest cookies I can possibly imagine, I'm going to put a link in the comments, are made with oats and bananas and things like this. Those are all healthy foods, but honestly, it's still better to bake less. Baked goods are just mostly carbohydrates, mostly refined sugars or more sugar than we need. And so baking every day is just not good for us. Even if it's the healthier baked option, it's still better to stick to real foods. So that's the bummer side. Now, the truth is, I know she likes to bake. I know she's going to bake. So let's make it a little bit healthier. Number one, there's sugar in everything. You can't possibly eliminate all sugar. Even vegetables have sugar. Onions have sugar. Peppers have sugar. Celery has a little bit of sugar. So you're right in saying that you're not going to be overboard about this because you can't eliminate all sugar. That would be unhealthy because you know I love my vegetables and I don't want you to give up those. But what I think you're talking about is the next category, which is added sugar. So you're trying to take away anything added sugar. And one step in a further direction is to take away refined added sugar. So this is like table sugar, actually pouring table sugar in as opposed to adding sugar with honey, things like that. Now, I'm going to assume that what you're really trying to avoid is adding in the cane sugar, the real sugar, and so I'm going to give you several other options. The simplest one-to-one swap is xylitol, Xylitol. I'll put a link to a product that I recommend below. That's a one-to-one swap for sugar. The texture is very similar. The taste is very similar. It's just like sugar, except it's calorie-free. Or it does have some calories, actually. It's low calorie and low sugar, and it's a natural product. Here's the kicker. Xylitol causes some killer gas for some people. So sorry to be gross. I'm just putting it out there to try to save you guys from a gassy experience. Xylitol in some people is great, no problems. In some people, not so much with the gas. So be very careful about that. But if it works for you, that's a good option. Again, I'll put the link in the comments. Number two, mashed bananas. I know you tried applesauce, but mashed bananas sometimes have a better texture and even more sweetness that you can use in baked goods. If I didn't mention, I'm going to put a link to 3 healthier cookie options in the comments here. One is like uber healthy, just oats and bananas. Another one is my someone else's no bake brownie bites, which are really delicious. And then another one is a breakfast cookie made with almond butter and things like that. Those are all healthy options that I think your daughter will like. Next choice down is baking stevia. So you want to check the ingredients here. Truvia, thank goodness, just switched its ingredients to make it actual stevia, and they use erythritol too, which is fine. It used to have dextrose and a bunch of other stuff, but you can use baking stevia. I'll put a link to that. You can sweeten naturally with things like maple syrup, honey, coconut sugar. All these are still sugar. So a lot of clients come to me and say, oh my gosh, I'm using coconut sugar. I'm so healthy. And you're right. They do have, coconut sugar does have extra nutrients, but it still has sugar. And all this sugar stuff, whether it's natural or not, we still want to limit it. I'm sorry. So don't go overboard on that. And then the very last thing to say here is please don't use Splenda or other artificial sweeteners, especially if you're dealing with kids with baking. There's just more and more research coming out every day indicating that it's not good for us. It causes leaky or contributes to leaky gut, and that can contribute to a lot scarier things down the line. I'm not one to say Splenda causes cancer, or if you have 1 packet of Splenda, you're going to die, or something like this. But if you're curious, I'm happy to talk to you more about it. Artificial sweeteners are really, really not our friends. So please don't use baking Splenda or any kind of other artificial sweeteners for your kids.